initially planned to visit Kitui last week to launch several development projects across the country. This would have accorded the leadership of the people and the people of the county a valuable opportunity to meet and discuss some of the development priorities of our county with you. However, in light of the passing of the former Prime Minister, you called off all scheduled public engagement as a mark of respect to our departed hero, a gesture for which we commend you highly. Your Excellency, as I conclude, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Mashujaa Day technical and steering committees, which were led by Mr. Makori and PS Raymond Lomond, respectively, and as well as the regional commissioner and the county commissioner and the county security committee for the way we have worked closely, consulting and solving any problem which arises in a very amicable way. Let me reaffirm our shared commitment towards the implementation of projects that positively transform the lives of our people. And may this Mashujaa Day rekindle our spirit of service, patriotism, and unity as we build a stronger, more prosperous Kenya. Thank you, Your Excellency. Asante ni sana. God bless Kitui. God bless Kenya. Asante.
Tumpongeze tena kwa makofi Gavana Dr. Julius Malombe. Kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, naomba unipe ruhusa nimkaribishe His Excellency the Deputy President of this great nation, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali akija. Karibu sana Naibu wa Rais.
Your Excellency President William Ruto, Your Excellency First Lady Rachel Ruto, Your Excellency President Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique, fellow Kenyans, we gather here today on this Mashujaa Heroes Day to remember, reflect, and consider where our country has come from. Your Excellency, sir, as you continue to lead us in this reflection, we continue to remember the many people who have sacrificed their time, their lives, and their comfort for our freedom. And even at this time, as we continue to mourn the departure of our former Prime Minister, one of the greatest Kenyans, foundations of our country, affect the economic well-being of the people of our country. And as you lead us, Your Excellency, the future of Kenya looks certainly good because of the labor that those who came before us have put, and because of the labor that you continue to put, Your Excellency, in putting us together, even as we take the vision of our forefathers forward. Baito moyaseo, moyaseo enge, moya ine museo, na mavida ode. Your Excellency, the President, today is not my day. My task is very simple. My task is to ask you, Your Excellency, sir, to address the nation this very special day in the history of our country. Mr. President, welcome. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa Rais.
Ndugu wana wa Kitui, hamjambo? Kitui hoi! Baito muyaseo inge, muyaini museo, na mabinda onde, muyaiya taiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hebu nione kwa mikono. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asanteni sana, tunaweza kuketi chini. Your Excellency, Basirao Diomaye Faye, President of Senegal. Your Excellency, Ma'am Adriano Alfonso Melain, Prime Minister of Mozambique. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens, before I make my statement, wakati tulikubaliana na tukaamua ya kwamba sherehe ya mashujaa mwaka wa 2025 itafanyika hapa Kitui kwa mara ya kwanza. Nilitafuta marafiki na leo tuko na bahati ya kuwa na rais wa Senegal, nchi rafiki, nchi ya Kenya. Ametutembelea sio tu Kenya, lakini ametutembelea hapa Kitui siku ya leo. Na vile vile nilimuuliza rafiki wetu mwingine, rais wa Mozambique. Kwa heshima kubwa, alikuwa na shughuli nyingi, lakini ametuma Prime Minister wa nchi ya Mozambique na yuko hapa Kitui pamoja na sisi. Jameni, mnawakaribisha hawa marafiki zetu, mnawakaribisha hawa wageni wetu. Wapi nduru ya hawa wageni wetu jameni, watu wa Kitui? Kweli naona mmewakaribisha. Wacha nimualike in a very special way my brother Faye on behalf of the government and people of Kenya. We don't take it for granted that you have taken time out of your busy schedule at home to come and visit us and participate in this national celebration, not necessarily in our capital city, but in our town of Kitui. We don't take it for granted, Mr. President, and the people of Kitui sincerely appreciate that you have made time to come all the way. I will now request you, Mr. President, to make some remarks as we celebrate our Heroes' Day here in Kitui, in Kenya. Welcome.
President, my dear brother, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Kenyan government, Governor of Kitui, ladies and gentlemen, habari za asubuhi. Before I begin, I would like first to take this opportunity to renew the heartfelt condolences of the people of Senegal to the brotherly people of Kenya and the passing of Mr. Raila Odinga, a former Prime Minister and a great leader in the political history of Kenya. I pay tribute to the memory of the illustrious departed and express my deep compassion to President Ruto, to his family, and to the people of Kenya. May his soul rest in peace. I would like to thank President Ruto for the warm welcome and all the attention we accorded to me and my delegation since our arrival in this brotherly country, home to the wonders of Masai Mara and Kilimanjaro. I'm here in the invitation of my brother, President William Ruto, as a guest of honor on this day celebrating Kenyan heroes. I express my gratitude to him for this gesture that shows the excellent quality of relation between our two countries. I'm also here because I'm deeply committed to the duty of remembrance. Our heroes deserve all honors. They deserve our respect. They deserve our admiration. The celebration of Kenyan heroes who risked their lives fighting for the independence of their country is a great tribute that commands respect and pride. The members of Mau Mau National Liberation Movement suffered fierce repression at the hands of those whose sole aim was to perpetuate the colonial order. Jomo Kenyatta, Asheng Oneko, Bildad Kagia, Fred Kubai, Kangu Kurumba, Paul Kay, and their companions suffered the worst horrors of the colonial power, leading to the death of thousands of Kenyans, countless arrests, torture, and massive internment. Their fate is a reminder that colonial history is not just about enslavement, but also and above all about struggle, dignity, and justice too long delayed. I would like to seize this opportunity to pay tribute to these worthy sons and daughters of Kenya and African whose memory must be etched out into our collective consciousness. I'd admire their courage and determination in the anti-colonial resistance. With their blood and sweat, they wrote a great page in the glorious history of liberation. Ladies and gentlemen, colonial repression was not an isolated case in Kenya. We suffered the same in Senegal. The colonial national resistance movement imperialist power offensive in Africa. Our fellow countrymen suffered unspeakable repression. For instance, on December 1944 at Charoy Black Barracks, innocents and unarmed Senegalese riflemen, along with their brothers in arms from other African countries, were massacred by the colonial power. Their only crime was to demand the payment of their allowance, bonuses, and other entitlements. This was one of many premeditating criminal acts, and the facts are undeniable. Out of duty of remembrance, truth and justice, we cannot forget these horrors, nor the sacrifice of our national liberation heroes and founding fathers of our nation. The full history must be recalled. These valiant sons and daughters of Africa must be celebrated because celebration is an educational tool in the transmission of our values and virtues. This is why I initiated a series of activities to pay tribute to all victims of slavery, colonialism, and all past injustice. The first initiative was to commemorate the 18th anniversary of the massacre of Senegalese resettlement last year. We are preparing to mark the second edition on December next, in communion with the 16 other troops contributing nation to the regiment commonly known as Senegalese riflemen. Ladies and gentlemen, to consolidate these various remembrance initiatives on the African continent, it is vital that we develop synergy in our efforts. I am on the view that to reclaim our history and restore the memory and dignity of these valiant Africans, we need to take several steps, including, first, build monuments and museums in honor of our heroes to serve as open spaces of reverence and remembrance. Second, build documentation and research centers to keep records, testimonies, and narratives about our heroes, while supporting research and education on this history of great African resistance fighters against slavery, colonialism, and worse form and injustice. Third, our streets, public squares, and buildings shall bear the names of our heroes so that their sacrifice and faith of be etched into our daily life and collective history. Fourth, teach our history in our education curricula. Thus, future generation will grow up with a thorough understanding of these episodes of our past. Fifth, instead throughout Africa, days dedicated to our heroes, like the one we are celebrating today. This is what will sustain the memory of our heroes, just as sustainable energy solution, the theme of this year's celebration, will help transform our lives. With the mastery of energy and sufficiency production capacity, Africa shall build the foundation of her development, the engine for her economic transformation, and foster technological and social innovation. Long live to memory of Kenyan heroes. Long live the memory of African heroes. I thank you for your attention.
Wapi makofi ya rais wa Senegal jameni. Asanteni sana. Wacha sasa nimuite kwa heshima kubwa Mama Prime Minister wa kutoka nchi ya Mozambique. You're welcome, Your Excellency, to make your statement, please.
Habari mchana. Sua Excelência William Ruto, Presidente da
da República do Quênia, Sua Excelência Bassirou Faye, Presidente da República do Senegal, Excelências, minhas senhoras, meus senhores, todo o protocolo observado.
Your Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency Bassirou Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed.
Iniciamos a nossa intervenção transmitindo as calorosas saudações e cumprimentos de Daniel Francisco Chapo, Presidente da República de Moçambique, a todos aqui presentes e em particular ao povo amigo e irmão queniano que hoje celebra o Mashujaa Day, Dia dos Heróis.
I begin my remarks by conveying warm greetings and best wishes from His Excellency Daniel Francisco Chapo, President of the Republic of Mozambique, to all those present here today, and in particular to the friendly and brotherly people of Kenya, who today celebrate Mashujaa Day, the Day of Heroes.
Manifestamos os nossos mais sentidos pêsames e condolências ao povo, governo queniano e a família enlutada pelo desaparecimento físico de Sua Excelência Raila Odinga.
Extend our deepest condolences and heartfelt sympathy to the people and government of Kenya and to the bereaved family on the passing of the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Com seu desaparecimento físico, Quênia e todos os países africanos perdem um verdadeiro nacionalista cuja voz continuará a ecoar na luta por uma sociedade mais justa e democrática.
With his passing, Kenya, and indeed all African nations, have lost a true nationalist whose voice will continue to resonate in the struggle for a more just and democratic society.
Excelências, as festividades e comemorações do Dia de Heróis que hoje aqui assinalamos, para além de ser um momento de recordações e homenagens, constitui um momento de introspecção e reflexão de uma nação sobre os feitos dos seus melhores filhos que lutaram, morreram e sacrificaram por uma causa tão nobre que é a de libertar, construir, preservar e consolidar o seu país.
Excellencies, the festivities and commemorations of this Mashujaa Day, which we are here today, are not only a time of remembrance and tribute, but also a moment of introspection, reflection for a nation, and time to honor the deeds of its finest sons and daughters who fought, died, and sacrificed for the noble cause of liberation, nation building, preservation. And consolidation.
Recordar os pais conhecidos e anônimos, em um ato de preservação da história coletiva do povo queniano.
To remember the founding father of the nation, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, and his compatriots and contemporaries, including the members of the Kapagoria 6, as well as other known and unknown heroes, is an act of preserving the collective history of the Kenyan people.
Esta efeméride é também de reafirmação da sua visão, valores e determinação, elementos estes que continuam a servir de alicerce e bússola para a contínua construção de uma Quênia que se pretende cada vez mais desenvolvida, justa e inclusiva.
This occasion is also one of reaffirmation of Kenya's vision, values, and determination, elements that continue to serve as the foundation and